Hi, this is Ross Trachtenberg with Figure It Out Baseball. I'm the recruiting coordinator now at Westchester University. And I'm sharing with you some real roster confessionals. Wanted to again share shed some light on real stories of how guys have ended up on the rosters at the different schools I've coached at. Westchester University is a public state school, and we play at the Division II level. Before Westchester, I was with the Pomona Pitcher Baseball program, which is Division III in Southern California. Pomona and Pitcher colleges are small private liberal arts schools. And then my first coaching assignment at the college level was with Newman University, also in Southeast Pennsylvania, a Division III school, also private with a religious background to it. So kind of three different schools. With three different kind of philosophies at the university level, and then baseball as well. Here's a couple kind of true stories with you, leaving names out, but some real roster confessionals with you to let you know kind of how the recruiting process can go. So the first one actually happened between my moves from Southern California back to the Philadelphia area at Westchester. So while I was at Pomona Pitcher, I identified a player I thought would be a great fit academically and athletically for Pomona Pitcher. However, he was from the Northeast region and really didn't want to travel that far away from home for college. Now, when I took the job back in Westchester, I happened to reconnect with this player, and he was still looking for a home. But based on my previous interactions with the player in terms of both on and off the field, I was excited he was interested in Westchester, and we were really able to move quickly with him through the recruiting process. If he had blown me off before or been rude or whatever, I probably wouldn't have been as likely to pursue him, and likewise, I'd obviously impressed him kind of with coaching philosophies and kind of the way I presented myself that he'd want to join a program I was part of. The next one kind of illustrate how we've had success finding players at larger showcases. So we're at a larger showcase in the Northeast, and there was a primary pitcher there, but he was doing some workouts with the infielders, doing some hitting. It all cost the same for him to do all those things, so he did them, showed some nice athletic ability that I took note of. He went ahead and threw his bullpen, and it was pretty impressive. The showcase, as they usually always do, they gave us great information about this player, the academic information and such, that I knew that I could trust. And kind of just within that day, I could tell that this player kind of had all the things that we look for in a player. I was able to get our head coach to conveniently see the pitcher the next day compete in a game setting. We had him on campus soon thereafter, and there we go. He ends up on our roster. Even though this player did not send me an email ahead of time, the information that we received from the showcase and really what he did, he performed to a level where he stood out. We were able to identify him as somebody we wanted to move forward with in the recruiting process pretty quickly out of an event with a few hundred players at it. The next story is kind of more of a traditional, I'd say. We had a player to our camp when he was a younger high schooler. He looked like he was going to grow. He looked like he had some strong skill sets already. We liked his work ethic, things like that. This player did all the right things, communicating with us, telling us when he was playing, how his season was going. He kept himself very informed with our program as well, citing the success we were having, things of that nature, in email communication and text messages. During his junior summer, we were able to see him a number of times. And again, he was not pushy about it, not over-emailing, but really letting us know where he'd be, and then saying, hey, I'll be at this showcase, and I see you're listed as one of the programs that's going to be there. So again, kind of did it the appropriate way. We probably saw this player maybe about 10 times as a position player, get a lot of at-bats, and eventually determined that he certainly looked like a player that we could see fitting into our program. The next story would really be kind of about the success of a true walk-on making our team. So a walk-on would be Anybody that is not receiving scholarship, this player also was not guaranteed a roster spot. We were able to see him pitch a little bit in high school, and like some of the things that he did, but just weren't in a position to offer him anything. He visited the university, applied, and decided that it was really the school he wanted to be at. And I think that was really terrific, and we always say that, make sure the university is a place you want to be at with or without baseball, and this player made that decision. He said, I want to come to Westchester. What do I need to do to make the team? And we were pretty honest with him about what we looked to see from him on the field as a pitcher and in scrimmage settings and things like that. We were also able to tell him that he needed to make himself important to the team. He needed to be a good team member, needed to help out where he could. That was kind of the culture of our program. So to his credit, he went out his freshman fall and pitched the way that we hoped he would. Did exactly what we asked of him on the hill. And then off the mound, he was the first to help out pulling tarps, raking out a mound. He still, if there's a chart to be done, he's going to be the first one to pick it up without being asked or offer to help out in any way. So that's the type of player that we want on our program. The last story I'm going to share with you is kind of unique to Division II. At Division II, NCAA Division II, we're allowed to actually work out players on campus, kind of as if they're one of our own players. This has to be done outside of their spring season. So this player we had seen a few times, both in game and in showcase settings, and had some good outings and some not great outings. We had kind of done all of our homework on this player in terms of talking to high school coaches, club coaches, and had some pretty good feel for him, but just weren't sold if in particular this player had the kind of the power, the raw power to hit at our level and kind of the hands to make contact with faster pitching. So again, really positive feelings about him, but just weren't sure whether to move forward with him. The fall of his senior year, and we kind of didn't think he would wait much longer into his senior year. Certainly not over winter break, not wait till the spring season. So we had him visit during the fall, come to a practice, and again, it's a Division II rule that we were able to take advantage of, and had him work out essentially with our team. As a hitting coach, I was able to spend a good amount of time with him in the cage. I was able to gauge kind of how coachable he was, kind of what he liked to do in the cage, how he liked to approach his swings, things like that. We went ahead and let him take some swings on the field. He was hitting balls out of the yard that made the older players on our roster really stop and watch. And just a workout like this and in our setting showed us that he could compete at our level and really fit into what we were trying to do. And I think on the flip side, he was able to see from his perspective what it would be like to be a player in our program. He had a real experience being part of our team for a practice essentially. So again, a unique situation for Division II programs that we were able to use and kind of give that one more opportunity to see if it could be a good fit. I want to describe for you how it's really, again, that two-way interaction. You're trying to impress the college coaches you're talking to, but on the flip side, it's really important on our perspective, from our perspective as coaches, to give you a good impression. So when I started out coaching in the college level at Newman University, I identified a player I thought would be terrific for us, and communicated with this young man, and was on the phone with, set time to talk to him on the phone. Both his parents wanted to be on the phone call. We had a long conversation. It ended up that he went elsewhere, but again, it was a nice interaction. Fast forward about 4 years, and this player ends up visiting Westchester University to look for a potential transfer, and the mother says to me, you were the first college coach we ever spoke to on the phone way back when in high school, and we started this recruiting process. You were really helpful. Thank you for spending some time to kind of explain things to us. We obviously didn't end up at your university. It's really nice to reconnect now. So as a college coach, I take a lot of pride in making a good impression with the recruits, because again, just like you never know what college coach you may run into down the road. As a coach, we never know how we may reconnect with players, or in this case, a potential recruit. So wanted to share that insight with you too, where it's really, again, a two-way street. So these were a couple of the real roster confessionals for you. Hope they gave you some insight into the recruiting process and kind of how guys really end up on our rosters at Westchester and at Pomona-Pitzer and at Newman University. Again, three different recruiting styles, three different types of universities, and kind of different ways players get recruited and end up at the given school. Again, this is Ross Trachtenberg with Figure It Out Baseball.